Charlie Kirky. I just found the Berkey. Charlie Kirky. I just Charlie Kirky.
Dorfidoodle is the winner.
Hi, did you know that it's illegal to say,
"We should kill the president"? Label me a dissident. It's only American to wanna kill the president. kill the president. Label me a dissident. It's only American to wanna kill the president. This is how the world ends. He's killing all of my best friends. And I don't think I'll be content. So someone kill the president. I don't wanna believe it, but I think that it bears repeating. We should shoot a billionaire, film it, put it on the air, dragging by his Turkish hair. No one cares. We should shoot a billionaire.
They talk openly about killing us every day, and their campaign ads, budget proposals, executive orders, and their rambling misspelled tweets. They revel in violence. Why shouldn't we?
Oh, hello, filthy, miserable dirt peasants. I can't seem to find my very impressive castle. Maybe you see it?
We should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. We should kill the president.
Hello, hi everybody, it's me, Charlie. Happy Tuesday? Oh my goodness, hi everybody. I'm so glad to see you. Look, there's a whole other minute of this video of just credits and also like don't sue us. Hi, that's Barnaby Jones, everybody. One of my favorite songs, Kill the President. Absolutely iconic. I hope for a big, beautiful obituary every day. I have a song queued up. I've fixed my soundboard, guys. I need you to know. I fixed the soundboard. So back the fuck up and buckle the fuck in. Because I have some good shit queued up. Hold on, I got watching. No, talking. Hi. I love it. 14,000. Oh, today's the last day for the community movie night challenge. We are 84% of the way there. We need for 25,284, we need 30,000, so we need less than 5,000 more. So that's like 2.5, 2.5 other viewers need to contribute in order for us to get to the movie night. I have no idea what movie.
Christ, there's a boomer around here.
Fuck off. But I have some sounds. Have some funny bits. Alright. So, I was able to get this as a whole sound.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Shit is crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life? Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. I don't like the frogs.
Day. How fucking appropriate.
Gay. Friggin' frogs. Frogs.
I have almost the whole song except for like the last like 30 seconds. I also have this one. You're welcome, chat. I don't think you're ready. Can anybody guess it before it starts? Anybody? Any guesses, chat? Any guesses, chat? Get ready. I am so ready to go when we get that big, beautiful obituary. I am so fucking ready. I got it queued up for days over here. It's the whole song. So I found out that you can download YouTube videos, right? I figured this all out recently. Download YouTube videos and then you can upload them to, it's like a restream. Restream lets you convert video files to MP3s. So if I'm able to screen record something or download it, I can turn it into an MP3. Like I might be able to go through some of these clips from the streams and like use that. Like I'm so excited. So, oh, that was by accident, but that's the excitement one. What else do we got? We've got your standard.
Christ, there's a boomer around here.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I got
Bruh.
That's right. That's how I know. How you know I'm a Hasanabi head. What else? And the friggin' frogs. Yeah, I got Italy here. I did update the UK one.
God save the Queen.
Yeah, I did.
New York City is nothing without pizza.
We're from Jersey, baby. Baby, 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 baby. And you're not.
Oh man. So I was having some fun with that today. I need you guys to know that that was a blast and a half doing that, especially once I was able to do Crab Rave. When I could do Crab Rave, it was game over. I was like, we're doing it. We're doing it. Buckle up. All right. Before I get to news stuff, I have something I have discovered. I have discovered something, guys. I put it in the title. But I need you to know is that I have discovered something that I don't think many other left-wing people are talking about right now. And as soon as I check my text message, because my alarm just went off for it, I'm going to tell you what it is. ASMR Charlie. ASMR Char. Char. Oh, Daisy's live. Nice. All right. So I noticed. Okay. All right. I got to back up even more. So I finally have been able to catch up to the news. I'm hearing that people are complaining about Hassan Piker once and again using his same old tired, America deserved 9/11. Yeah, and he wasn't wrong. Like what the American government has done to nations abroad, it's understandable why people would retaliate that way. It probably would have happened more if we were closer to the more of the people that we've decimated. Like that's just a fact of life. I'm pretty sure if America would not have the balls it has if it was not so separated from the rest of the world. That's my take on that. But I posted a status earlier and I was like, talk all the shit you want on Hassan, but I didn't see Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, or Chuck Schumer out there at No King's Day. And I just meant that more in like a, he's actually talking the talk and walking the walk and actually getting in there and helping people, where these Dems are just writing strongly worded letters and like having no actual convictions other than money. So what I had that thought and it was turning in my head. And then I also did a trivia post today, which was like, how many politicians are in, how many politicians does AIPAC fund? And the answer was 361. And because I wrote that question, I was then thinking, I was like, oh yeah, Cory Booker gets money from AIPAC, and I was talking on the stream yesterday about him, which is why it stuck out in my head. Then it clicked. Oh my god, it clicked. I almost came when I realized it. Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, and Chuck Schumer. They're all paid by AIPAC, right? They also were not at No King's Day at all. And this No King's Day, especially because it's written in the charter that we had to like put out there when we hosted the event, this No King's Day was about protesting the war in Iran. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Yeah, I'm telling you, AIPAC told the people it donated. The people AIPAC pays were told not to go to No Kings. I am telling you, there's not a single person that's in the AIPAC that was there. I went through it. I didn't see any of those politicians, unless I'm wrong. Please correct me. The mayor of Morristown was at No King's Day. Most politicians, or most candidates that are running in this area were at No King's Day. Like, there were tons of people who want to be elected, who are elected, but none of the people who are paid by AIPAC were out at No King's Day. 1,500 people. Nice. That's a good number in this super conservative town. You know what? Actually, I'm glad you said that, because somebody messaged me and was like, hey, do you know what the numbers were for Morristown? What's the town that's like adjacent to that? Morristown, Burlington, Williamstown. Hold on. Hold on. I want to pull up the message. I want to go to the logs. I gotta turn up my brightness. Morris is North Jersey. Oh, no. No, Moores. I'm sorry. I'm saying it wrong. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. No, I didn't want to refresh. I wanted to load more. I specifically asked about those towns because I'm from Mount Holly, grew up in Burlington, and was a mall walker at Moorestown. Yeah, I got Burger King. Nice. Yeah, Moorestown. So, I'll let them know. Because they were specifically asking about that. I love that I get to do this. I love that I get to be like, hey guys, give me your numbers so I can tell other people who are interested about this. Or, hey, do you have inquiries about where a protest was and what the numbers were? Hit me up. I love that I can coordinate this. 1,500. Mayor was one of... Okay. So, let's go. Oh my god, I'm so excited about that. Thank you for the information, Dorothy. You're the best. Okay, my point is that AIPAC, I am in the firm belief, I am in the camp, I would say I am 10 toes very far down on this, that AIPAC told politicians that it endorses to not go to No King's Day. Because in the charter for No King's Day, and again, I know this because I hosted one, it states very clearly that this No King's Day is to protest the war in Iran. And who wants the war in Iran? If you guessed Israel, you would be correct. Now, Charlie, what does Israel have to do with AIPAC? Well, I'm so glad you asked, fictional person I just made up in the chat who could also talk to me out loud. It's for the American-Israeli something. Hold on. I wrote it down. I always try to write this shit down. I always try to look it all up, too. American-Israeli Public Affairs Committee. Okay, so AIPAC, The American Israeli Public Affairs Committee gives money to politicians to do the things that they want. They're a lobbying group, you know? Like what's another good one that I don't want to say it's a Citizens United type thing, but it's a lobbying firm. What's I can't think of like another like lobby off the top of my head. Bonzo. Anyway, they lobby Congress people. Congress people get millions of dollars, millions of millions of dollars. In fact, here, let's see how much money. Where's AIPAC tracker? Let's bring it up. Come on. Come on. AIPAC tracker. Members of Congress. Cory Booker. My arch nemesis. Andy Kim, I knew he wasn't there either. I heard that Andy Kim wasn't going to go anywhere. I heard that people who were putting on shows and speeches had invited Andy Kim and he had not confirmed he was going to go. Cory Booker has received $5 million, almost $6 million from AIPAC. And he is in lobbying donors. Yeah. And he wasn't at No King's Day. Let's see who else. Andy Kim, he was not at No King's Day. Also receives money from AIPAC. I don't know who you are. Jeff Van Drew was also not at No King's Day. He's received the least out of the New Jersey people. Wait, are all three of these New Jersey? New Jersey 1? Where's New Jersey 1? Donald Necross? Herb Conaway. District 3. Chris Smith, District 4. Josh Gottheimer, 5. Anyway, this is how much money they receive. I had not heard of any of these people, especially because I'm a Jersey local. Definitely Rob Menendez. He was not going to go. I did not hear about any of these people going. Which one's the based one in? District 12. Awesome. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind when you hear about how, you know, oh, we're going to stand up. When next time Cory Booker decides to do a 25-hour speech, remember that he receives money from AIPAC and he also wasn't at No King's Day. Oh, you know what? That's actually a better thing. Anytime someone's going to tell me like, oh, you hate Cory Booker because he's black, it's like, no, I hate Cory Booker because he's a hypocrite, because he's willing to stand up in Congress for 25 hours to yap, but behind closed doors, but he's not willing to walk with the American people to experience problems on their level. That's my issue with Cory Booker. I give a shit less what the color of his skin is. I hate him. One of these days, man. All right. That's just something I wanted to point out. I don't know if any of the other leftists are talking about that yet. Kind of a connection I made. I would love to be proven right. I would love to be proven wrong, but I would love even more to be proven right. All right, to the news.
Was Candace Owens really just vindicated on the Charlie Kirk assassination? Right, that's what you have many asking after a daily.
Slow down, Philip. No. And drop a like while it's spazzing.
Was Candace Owens really just vindicated on the Charlie Kirk assassination? Right, that's what you have many asking after a Daily Mail headline that the bullet that killed Kirk did not match the rifle tied to suspect Tyler.
Wait a minute. Oh my God. Somebody was just talking to me about this. They were like, you know, I did a star reading and I do believe from the star reading that Tyler Robinson did do it. And even though, and he was like, specifically, he was like, and even though the bullet was different, and I was like, oh, like, did the bullet break up? Like, in my brain, I was just like, oh, maybe he meant like the casing is different or whatever. Like, it didn't cross my mind that it was actually like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Was Candace Owens really just vindicated on the Charlie Kirk assassination? Right, that's what you have many asking after a Daily Mail headline that the bullet that killed Kirk did not match the rifle tied to suspect Tyler Robinson. And that went everywhere. TMZ ran the same framing,
wild.
Owens declared victory, but the problem is that the headline is misleading. Right, the ATF report actually said that the bullet couldn't be identified as matching, which is very different from saying that it didn't match. While the conspiracy machine, it's running full speed, the actual case, it's still very early on with the FBI conducting its own analysis that isn't even finished yet. Though of course you have many concerns and doubts there because of who is leading the FBI now. But where I want to start is with what actually happened. Here's what's real. Robinson's defense team filed a motion to delay a hearing set for May so they could keep reviewing evidence, with NBC obtaining that filing. And in it, the defense cited a summary report from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives saying that the ATF was, quote, unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Robinson. And the AP describing the finding more simply, saying inconclusive. And the AP also explained why that is not unusual. Forensic ballistics analysis depends heavily on the size and condition of the bullet fragments. Experts look for microscopic markings left on a bullet as it passes through the barrel, markings that are unique to each firearm. And if the fragments are too small or they're too damaged, they can't make a definitive match. That does not mean that the gun did not fire that bullet. It means that the evidence was not sufficient to confirm that it did. And Robinson's team hasn't even actually been able to review the full case file associated with the ATF report yet. And again, that's as the FBI is conducting its own separate bullet analysis that hasn't been completed. Which brings us to the specifics of the headlines versus the reality. With the Daily Mail, they ran the headline, "Bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match rifle allegedly used by suspect." But then, if you even read the first sentence of their own article, it says that the bullet may not match, which is already a lot less definitive than the headline. And again, they weren't alone. TMZ ran a similar framing, and you had Candace Owens running with it, posting, "Where are all my neocons who have been overwhelmed by the non-existent evidence against Tyler Robinson? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Hope the money was worth your soul." With that post and others like it spreading everywhere, people reading the headline, skipping the article, and treating it as proof, hey, there's no case against Robinson. But as people who have been pushing back have pointed out, the ATF said that it was unable to identify the bullet, and that's quite different than being able to identify it as a non-match. So you had others accusing the Daily Mail of running clickbait trash, saying they're purely leaning into this because they know there are a bunch of rabid conspiracy theorists who will not take the time to understand this. And of course, that's as the bullet analysis isn't the only evidence in this case.
If the
It's
clickbait
not even
works.
close. Prosecutors say that DNA consistent with Robinson's was found on the rifle, though Robinson's defense pushed back on that, claiming that multiple people's DNA was found and more analysis is needed. Also, on top of that, defense attorneys say that they just received a hard drive containing a large volume of audio, video, and data files that still need to be reviewed, which is part of why they're asking for the delay. But you also have prosecutors insisting that they have enough evidence to go to trial regardless of what the ATF bullet analysis shows. And Robinson actually hasn't even entered a plea yet. This case is still in the very, very early stages. But I also then have to add that the conspiracy fuel didn't just stop with a bullet report. Right? The sheriff of Washington County, Utah, the county where Robinson was arrested, abruptly resigned from his job on Friday after a 30-year career in law enforcement. And this all
I wonder if they'll let cameras in the courtroom for that trial.
Lake City Tribune reporting that the resignation came, quote, after the county received complaints from individuals who were concerned with operations of the sheriff's office. Now, we don't know the details of those complaints, but you had Candace Owens immediately connecting it to the Kirk case.
My instinct is that there's going to be some corruption. He's gotten involved in something and he has to quietly resign. Like if you're in the middle of an election, they're usually digging up dirt on you. They may have found something. I am wondering if this might have something to do with Tyler Robinson and the Charlie Kirk case. I don't know for certain, but I'm interested.
Right, and Candace wasn't alone. You also had Marjorie Taylor Greene going further, writing, "The ATF could not match the bullet to Tyler Robinson's gun, and when the news breaks, the sheriff resigns." But then also looking at the timeline, it doesn't actually appear to support that connection. Reports say that the sheriff resigned on Friday and the bullet reporting came out yesterday. So the two events, they overlap in the news cycle, but there's no established link between them. And all of this, it's happening as Robinson's due in court in just over 2 weeks for a hearing about whether cameras will be allowed into the courtroom. He still hasn't entered a plea. The FBI's bullet analysis isn't done. The defense is asking for more time with the evidence, and prosecutors say, they're ready for trial. But also with that, understand this is probably going to be a long case. And that is, the gap between what the evidence actually shows and what headlines and social media are telling people. It shows that this is a recurring problem throughout it all. And understand, I say that as someone that has a number of questions about what went down that day. But at least on this specific situation, it looks like another case study in how misinformation works in real time. By the time that the AP and NBC published the actual nuanced reporting, you had hundreds of thousands thousands of people already seeing a headline, skipping the article, and forming an opinion that's not supported by the facts. And like with any situation, the accused deserves a fair trial, the victims and their families, they deserve a real investigation, and the public deserves reporting that tells them what the evidence actually says, not what gets them the most clicks. So then also, actually, I want to say, all of this, it's going down as we got to find.
I don't know how they're gonna find a jury. Man, their jury pool is gonna be so small.
Final verdict on another high-profile legal battle, because the Supreme Court just made it a lot easier for parents to force their gay and transgender children into dangerous and widely discredited conversion therapies. But also, this broad decision, it goes beyond just controversial conversion therapies. It has sweeping implications for the ability of states to regulate their own medical care and protect their residents against harmful medical practices. Because specifically, the case in question here centers around a law that Colorado enacted in 2019 that banned physicians and mental health professionals from trying to change the sexual orientation or gender identity of minors. But also, Colorado's not alone there. Almost half of all states have banned conversion therapy for minors or implemented some kind of restrictions over the last decade as more and more evidence emerged that the practice was harmful. Or with major medical groups also discrediting the practice as an increasing number of studies linked it to depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and higher rates of suicide among gay and transgender people. And so under Colorado's law, practitioners were subject to a $5,000 fine for each violation and a suspension or loss of a counseling license. Though there, I'll say a very big thing is that Colorado officials say that no one's actually ever been disciplined. But back in 2022, an evangelical Christian therapist by the name of Kaylee Childs sued, arguing that the law violated her First Amendment rights by preventing her from offering voluntary faith-based counseling for religious minors who were questioning their sexual orientation or dealing with gender dysphoria. And in her court filings, Childs argued that she wasn't trying to cure patients or change their sexual orientation. She said that she just wanted to help patients with their own efforts to live consistently with their faith. Goals, she said, would sometimes include seeking to reduce or eliminate unwanted sexual attractions. And she also claimed that the law made it hard for parents to find therapists who would discuss gender identity with kids unless the counseling directly affirms transition. Then on the other side, you had Colorado defending the law, arguing that it still allows for broad conversations about gender identity and sexual orientation within the context of religious guidance, noting that the law literally exempts religious ministries entirely and claims that the measure is only meant to block therapies that try to convert LGBTQ+ minors to heterosexuality or traditional gender norms. With the state attorney general arguing that the law doesn't violate free speech protections because therapy is a form of healthcare, which makes it different from other kinds of speech. Noting that states have long had the power to regulate medical treatments carried out through speech in order to protect patients from substandard care. And very notably here, the state AG also warned that if the Supreme Court ruled against Colorado, it would undermine the ability of all states to protect their residents from bad medical practices and make it harder for people to sue providers when they give bad advice. And what you saw is that argument was upheld by two separate courts, with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit ruling that talk therapy isn't a form of pure speech, but rather a medical treatment that can be regulated by the state. And that decision appeared to align with past precedent set by the Supreme Court, which has allowed certain restrictions that govern a person's conduct, even if those restrictions unintentionally butt up against free speech. Today, what you had was the Supreme Court ruling that that was not the case when it came to Colorado's law, with the justices striking down the lower court's decision and ruling in favor of Childs. And I will say a very big thing is that this was not a typical conservative versus liberal split. The decision was 8-1, where with Justice Neil Gorsuch arguing in the majority opinion that Colorado may regard its policy as essential to public health and safety, but the law ultimately censors speech in violation of the First Amendment. And that was also echoed by some of the liberal justices as well, with Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor filing a concurring opinion arguing that the law regulates viewpoints on one side of the debate over conversion therapy for minors, but not the other. But then on the other side, you had Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the sole dissenter, arguing that this ruling could have a catastrophic impact on healthcare across the nation if states cannot regulate some kinds of speech by licensed professionals, writing, "This decision might make speech-only therapies and other medical treatments involving practitioner speech effectively unregulatable," and adding that it opens a dangerous can of worms that threatens to impair
I think it means they need to write the law differently. It sucks. I agree.
states' ability to regulate the provision of medical care in any respect and ultimately risks grave harm to Americans' health and well-being. So arguing that not only does this decision undermine the conversion therapy bans and restrictions that are currently in place in almost half of all states, but it could also have an untold impact on the ability of all state governments to regulate any kind of medical care that poses a threat to all Americans. And so while this could be massively consequential, for now, we're gonna have to wait to see how sweeping the long-term impacts are gonna be. And then there's more we've got to dive into in just a minute.
So the law as written just needs to be changed, but that shit is hard. Yeah, it's this fucking awful, man. That is awful.
But first, let me thank a sponsor and say, if your day is bouncing between meetings, the gym, and everything else, figuring out what to eat, it usually becomes a last-minute decision and not always a great one. And that's where today's sponsor, Factor, comes in. Factor is fully prepared food that's ready when you are, and more importantly, it's actually good. They deliver chef-made, dietitian-approved meals that show up ready to go. You just heat it up,
tastes good, but it never looks
no cooking,
good.
no cleanup, no losing time trying to make something decent in the middle of a, busy busy day. And for me, it's been clutch, you know, especially on days where I don't even have like the
Clutch.
time to think about food, but I still want something that feels like a real meal.
Well,
I've been
how
leaning
do you
into
do,
their high
fellow
protein
kid?
options when I'm trying to stay on track without overcomplicating things. And the ingredients, they feel legit, right? Lean proteins, real vegetables, balanced meals. They also say skip the junk, no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. And there's a ton of variety too, over 100 rotating options, plus plans with Calorie Smart, Mediterranean, and just other things that support your goals. And meals arrive fresh, never frozen, and you're eating in about 2 minutes. It's basically a quick reset in the middle of a busy day. So hey, just scan that QR code or go to factormeals.com/DeFranco50 off and use code DeFranco50 off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. But then, diving right back into the news, Trump is telling US allies to get their own oil as he's thinking about wiping his hands clean of this war and just leaving Iran in control of the Strait of Hormuz. And that's even though he has repeatedly claimed that a deal to end this war and reopen the strait is close.
Wouldn't it be so funny if he pulled out and then everybody went back to dealing like nothing happened, but like kept the United States out? Like, just like, okay, we're done here. Thank you. We're gonna go back to what we were doing. Bye bye.
Also then threatened to obliterate civilian infrastructure in what experts say would be a war crime, and he's refused to rule out ground operations that would risk American lives and might not even work. And all of this is coming as, you know, whatever he does moving forward, thousands have been killed, millions have been displaced, and they're at risk of hunger and being pushed into poverty, and the Americans that he supposedly serves, they're paying more at the pump than in years. But let's start with the situation between the US and its traditional European allies. Right, Spain's probably been the continent's most vocal opponent of the war, denying the US use of military bases and its territory from
Spain has been based as fuck about everything. They've been outspoken about Israel. They've sent flotillas down. They've been based as fuck. I love it. I love seeing what they're
very
doing.
beginning. But also, the UK and France declined to support what they would consider offensive military operations. And then everyone's pretty much flat out refused Trump's call for them to escort commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz while the conflict's ongoing. And again, despite the fact that he started this war without consulting them, and he's previously vowed to take their territory among other threats and insults, he has repeatedly complained about a lack of support from American allies in the war, even as he has repeatedly insisted that he doesn't actually need it. And that strategy has apparently not been working, with allies only making it clearer and clear that they do not see this as their war. Spain, for example, they went even further this week, closing their airspace to American aircraft involved in the war. There are also reports that Italy restricted the use of a base in Sicily by American planes, and Trump claimed on social media this morning that France, quote, wouldn't let planes headed to Israel loaded up with the military supplies fly over French territory, with him saying in a separate post, all of those countries that can't get jet fuel
Based. Let's go, France.
because of the Strait of Hormuz, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the US, we have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. And you also had Defense Secretary Hegseth echoing Trump's words in a Pentagon press briefing this morning, which, by the way, was also the first one in almost 2 weeks.
A lot has been shown to the world about what our allies would be willing to do for the United States of America when we undertake an effort of this scope on behalf of the free world. These are missiles that don't even range the United States of America. They range allies and others, and yet when we ask for additional assistance or simple access basing overflight, we get questions or roadblocks or hesitations. And the president's pointing out, you don't have much of an alliance if you have countries that are not willing to stand with you when you need them.
But then, when asked about Russia, which is believed to be providing Iran intelligence to target U.S. forces and may soon even start sending weapons to the country,
Hegseth is gonna end up taking the fall for this, and I can't wait. Oh, yeah. I will say it is very annoying that everybody keeps going, oh my god, Hezbollah, they've got tanks under the apartment buildings. The same shit they said about Hamas, and everybody's just kind of like, yeah, all right. Fine.
as well as China, which has also been quietly supporting Iran in some ways, he had not a single word of criticism.
As far as Russia and China, we know exactly what they're doing, what they are or are not doing. We don't have to air publicly what all of that is, but where necessary, we're addressing it, we're mitigating it, or we're confronting it.
Right, and with all that, in addition to Hegseth having previously said that Iran can't hit the United States, even though one of the stories they fed to the American public is that we were at an imminent risk, Hegseth, he really just gave a lot of vague answers, arguing that it was just necessary to protect the mission.
Don't tell your enemy what you're willing to do or not do, And don't tell your enemy when you're willing to stop.
And with that, he wouldn't refuse to rule out boots on the ground, and he repeated his stance that the choice to end this war is Trump's alone. Though I will say he also claimed that the upcoming days will be decisive and argued that the US was closer than ever before to winning, even though Trump declared more than a week ago that the war had already been won. And I know that we've joked about it, but according to Axios, Trump has suggested that the war was about to end at least 12 times already. With the most recently suggesting that that was the case, as he insisted that the US is negotiating successfully with Iran's leaders, who he says are part of a new and more reasonable regime, even though, one, they say that they're not negotiating with the US, and two, even if they are, they're part of the same regime that Trump claims to have destroyed. Right, the new supreme leader is the son of the last one and is believed to be even more hardline. And the guy Trump's claim that the US is dealing with is a former Revolutionary Guard commander who's been serving as Speaker of Parliament since 2020. But with all that, you had Hegseth insisting that negotiations between the US and Iran are very real and gaining strength, and repeating Trump's claim that the regime change has been
Oh my God,
accomplished.
do you think, wait. Okay, do you think Hegseth is telling Trump that everything's going great? Because I know Trump's getting some kind of like blooper reel of the bombs, right? He's getting bombing montages, bombtages. Do you think Hegseth is telling Trump like that, like he's making it up that the Iranians are making a deal with him, and then he's telling Trump that, and then Trump is just repeating it? Mommy bombages. We need a comedy movie on this. Ever since I found out that he is recreating episodes of Iron Chef, he's making his staff, he's forcing his staff to recreate episodes of Iron Chef. I am committed to whatever this bit is. No, Trump gets military highlights of explosions. Yeah, that's what he's giving. That's what Pete Hegseth is giving Trump, and Trump's like, yeah, it's all gone. They're just, it's like in the Hunger Games where they're playing like the old footage of District 13, except they're just showing it to Trump. No one else. It's not playing in anyone else's household. Just Trump.
President Trump doesn't bluff and he does not back down. This new regime, because regime change has occurred, should be wiser than the last. President Trump will make a deal he is willing. If Iran is not willing, then the United States War Department will continue with even more intensity.
And with that, the military has reportedly begun flying B-52 bomber missions over land for the first time, which is a sign that Iran's
R.I.P. Airborne. It's this 82nd that's got flown out there. Ripperoonies. Sorry that you have to get kirked in Epstein Fury. I'll pour one out for your wives. Don't worry.
air defenses have been significantly
I miss Steal Your Girl, except you go to war and I steal your girl.
great. And so the military is now reportedly focused on destroying supply chains that feed Iran's missile, drone, and naval shipbuilding facilities, with the aim being to prevent the country from being able to replace munitions that have been destroyed in thousands of American attacks up till now. But also, despite all that, Iranian strikes have kept up across the region, with the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait all among the countries responding to drone and missile attacks in the past day. And one attack that made it through hit a massive oil tanker belonging to Kuwait. It was anchored off the coast of Dubai, and it just reinforced Iran's stranglehold over the strait. And the whole situation might be getting more complicated with the Houthis in Yemen now having joined the war, because they control territory along key Red Sea shipping routes, and they previously targeted vessels there, and that could potentially be another way for Iran to put pressure on the global economy.
Oh, wait, the Houthis? I love that they've returned to the chat. I haven't heard from them in forever. Oh my god. Cause like the Houthis and like love these callbacks. Yeah, like like season 1 is where this year started, right? That this is the TV show, right? This is its own little section. Season 1 was like Timothy Houthi Chalamet and how they were blocking the Strait of Hormuz and stealing ships. And now we're back. They came back. Oh my god. It's like you fall in love with like this character, right? And then they disappear and you kind of forget about them while the main plot is happening, and then all of a sudden they're back and you're like, oh my fucking god. Let's go. It's like Michael Jordan coming out, you know? I love this shit so much.
And while Trump's threatened to resolve the situation in some way with ground operations or strikes on power plants and even desalination facilities, there's no guarantee that any of those options would work. And also, it feels like it just keeps getting overlooked. Regarding attacks on civilian infrastructure, you're talking about a
I need you guys to know, I have always paid attention to politics, but paying attention to politics with you has made my lifetime. Okay. This is such like, not like cathartic shit, but just so wonderful that I get to sit here and make jokes. You guys get to sit here and make jokes. We get to turn our history into a little anime that we're following. And like, I don't know, it's cool. I think you guys are really cool. Oh, thanks for on my 2-year streamer anniversary. Thank you for spending it with me and most of you from the beginning. Wildest season of anime. Yeah. Like okay, so I'm gonna assume that the anime of America, right? It's gonna be done in like I guess how like JoJo works. Like there's JoJo Bizarre Adventures, and that's like the all-encompassing thing, and then there's little micro stories underneath of it. At least I think that's how JoJo works. So like each it's America, and then each season is a president, right? And we're on like the 47th 86 47. Yeah, we're on the 47th season, and we're on like sub season 2, right? Because the first term is part 1, second season part 2. Like we're in the second season or second part. Then there's going to be a part 3, which would be the next midterm. You get it? You see where I'm kind of going? I feel like if you've read Way of Kings, you understand it better. Bush, I think, was season 1. No, Bush gets his own little seasons. Like, how do I describe it? Hold on. Get me Canva. No, hold on. Is there more? There's more callbacks than that. Here, we'll just do this. It's One Piece. It really is. Okay. Ignore my doodles. All right. Look, ready? Okay. So, here, we'll do the easy way. America. Not free. Can I get like just the country maybe? Here we go. Okay, so the show is America, right? That's the overarching show. Okay, it's been spanning 250 years. Okay, it's a very long series. It is One Piece, right? Then, here. Oh, yep. Okay, so give me the pen. All right, so underneath America, we have all that's too thick. What she said. All right. So we have like this is the whole timeline, right? It can never be. Right? All right. So then keep Mexico underneath America. No, stop. I'm doing a timeline. All right. So then each one of these, right, is its own president. All right. Right. I'm not going to do 47 of these. But you see the point. These are their own like contained storylines, right? And inside each storyline, all right, let's go down to here where 47 is, right? We're here. 47, okay. 47 starts in 2025 because that's when he was inaugurated, right? And that's there. He is 1 term, 2 term. He's 2 term, but he could go. Wait, no, we have 4 years of this. Forgot. 3 term, 4 term, right? And so we are here. That's where we're at in the season. All right. So 47 singular, like he's got his own timeline. It's like the best way I guess I could describe it is like a Brandon Sanderson novel where you have like different things going on at different times. Like because there's callbacks. Like you could honestly make the callback like I have done in like over here in 1890s to like the 1940s. 1930. Okay? That right here is what I think is most similar to what we're going through here. All right. And we could use some of these callbacks like Teapot Dome. You guys remember Teapot Dome? Tariffs? What was this? Smoot Hawley tariffs? Okay. We're over here, but we're doing callbacks to things that happened over here. So, but we are getting some callbacks from perfect. Thank you. All right. So, okay. So 46 5 okay. 4, right. You following? Okay. Fuck piss. Okay. So bad. All right. So, what we just went through, right? What we're talking about here with the Houthis right here is a callback to what happened here, but also happened here and here and here. So it's a huge callback, but it's especially a really big callback to the last like I would even say like right here. All right? So, that's how I would describe America as an anime. I hope you followed along. Subscribe to the channel.
A possible war crime. The potential humanitarian fallout could be massive. Although there's another option that Trump's considering, which is just following through on his threat to just abandon this whole project and leave it to the allies. And actually, the Wall Street Journal is saying today that he's told aides that he's willing to end the war even if the Strait of Hormuz remains largely closed. And that apparently coming after they told him that a mission to open the strait would push the conflict beyond his timeline of 4 to 6 weeks. But with that, according to an Iran expert at the Brookings Institution, walking away now, it would be unbelievably irresponsible what they're arguing. The US and Israel started the war together and can't walk away from the fallout. Energy markets are inherently global, and there is no possibility of insulating the United States from the economic damage that is already occurring and will become exponentially worse if the closure of the strait continues. And the thing is, she's right. Even though the US isn't dependent on oil exports from the Middle East, it's not immune. Right? Global oil prices have been hanging out around $114 a barrel, up from around $72 before the war began. And the average cost of gas in the United States, it's jumped 35% since the war began. It passed on average $4 a gallon today, the first time since 2022. Diesel hit $5.42 a gallon, up from $3.76. Though with that, you had White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt arguing that it's just temporary and saying in a statement, gas prices will plummet back to the multi-year lows American drivers enjoyed before these short-term disruptions when the Iran war is over. And there, I would say she's kind of right in the sense that experts say that prices won't meaningfully drop until the supplies can again flow freely out of the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz. But every single day that doesn't happen, a quick recovery becomes even more difficult. And also, whatever happens, the effects right now, they're being experienced by everyday Americans. And Americans are already struggling with costs, and some families are reportedly being pushed to the brink. I mean, globally, we've already talked about how the World Food Program said that tens of millions are at risk of being pushed into hunger. And adding to that today, you had the UN Development Program reporting that the war may push 4 million people across the Arab world into poverty, with the head of the program's Regional Bureau for Arab States noting that the projections were based on just 4 weeks of war, which we've now passed. And then on top of all that, of course, there have been the lives that have been lost. The American death toll stands at 13 service members, at least 17 have been killed in Israel, at least 50 people have been reported killed in other nations across the region, and those numbers, of course, are dwarfed by the death tolls in Iran and Lebanon. At least 1,574 civilians, including 236 children, have been killed in Iran since the war began, according to the human rights activist news agency. And more than 1,230 people in Lebanon have been killed since the latest fighting between Israel and Hezbollah began, according to the Lebanese health ministry. And that's a place where you have some increasingly worried that what happened in Gaza may be playing out once again there, especially as Israel has more clearly outlined its plan for the invasion, occupation, and
They have also been saying the same exact talking points they said when they started going into Palestine after October 7th. Okay? This is the same fucking tap dance. It's the same fucking tap dance.
destruction of homes in the southern part of the country. Then also, while we're talking about Israel, they've come under criticism for their latest moves targeting Palestinians. And that's because you had Israeli lawmakers wearing nooses on their lapels to show support for a new law that other countries are saying will be used to hang Palestinians while Israeli attackers go free. Or with that law allowing them to hang people for homicides that they say are intended to undermine the state of Israel. Once convicted, the verdict only requires a simple majority vote, and the accused have to be killed within 180 days, which limits their chance for a retrial. And as far as why hanging instead of something like a lethal injection, well, that's because Israel's National Doctors Union has refused to carry out lethal injections, with the chairman of the Israeli Medical Association's ethics committee saying, quote, using medical knowledge for purposes other than promoting health and well-being undermines the ethical foundations of medicine. But then also, another thing with this is that judges will apparently be able to make exceptions for those convicted. However, the circumstances there are unspecified, and reports say, quote, the legislation will leave those convicted in military courts with no clear path to receiving a pardon. And that's before mentioning that Palestinians tried in military courts specifically have fewer civil rights protections and less due process than if they were tried in Israel's civilian courts, with maybe the only small relief for those who are concerned here being that the law won't be applied to Palestinians who have already been jailed. Also, while these hangings would technically apply to both Israeli and Palestinian crimes, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ruling coalition seemed to specifically argue that the law would be to discourage future Palestinian attacks on the Israeli people. And as you have many far-right Israeli lawmakers seeing this as a win, you also have many others saying this is a definitive sign of the aggressive front that the country has been seeing against Palestinians, which has only been growing since the Hamas attacks back in 2023. Right, that year, Hamas seized more than 250 people, eventually exchanging surviving captives and the remains of those killed for some 3,500 Palestinian prisoners held by Israeli forces. And you've had right-wing lawmakers like Moshe Sadah having said, each time we don't use the death penalty, we are encouraging the next attempt to take hostages. But then with all that, you're seeing people saying, well, a problem here is that not all Palestinians are Hamas. In fact, the vast majority of them are. With also people calling out a double standard. Right? Because when asked about Jewish extremists like Barak Goldstein, who murdered 29 Palestinians in 1994, Sadah only said that they should be in prison, saying you can't compare them to Hamas extremists because they have a society that's, quote, supporting and encouraging their actions. But there you've had critics making the same comments about Israeli extremists on the other side. And many saying that the caveat of the law targeting attacks that negate the existence of Israel seems to be completely ignoring any attacks that have been made in the name of the Israeli state. With reports saying that by this standard, it would effectively be impossible to execute Jewish extremists. And you had the former head of Israel's public defender's office saying the intent is clearly for the law to apply to Palestinians and not to Jewish terrorism at all. And then you also had a lawyer with a Palestinian rights group telling the Times, by design, this legislation exclusively targets Palestinians, violating the fundamental principle of equality and prohibition on racial discrimination. With the law then also striking other fears that as Palestinians wait for potential death sentences, extremists could be inspired to take more hostages to demand their release, creating this sort of cycle of violence that could exacerbate the problem even further. But the Israeli government didn't seem moved by these types of issues before it was put into place, as Israeli justice officials, liberal groups, and countries like Britain, Germany, Italy, and France all warned against it as well, saying we are particularly worried about the de facto discriminatory character of the bill, saying the adoption of this bill would risk undermining Israel's commitments with regard to democratic principles. And actually, for some context here, Israel's only used the death penalty twice in its history. Once for a man who was publicly exonerated after his death, and another for a leading Nazi official. And it's also worth noting that many Western countries outside of the US have moved away from the death penalty. And in fact, so much so that reports say that Israeli lawmakers frequently invoked the American practice of capital punishment when justifying the legislation. However, legal experts are raising alarms that this new law ignores the guardrails that we use in the US, which are meant to minimize the death penalty's inherent risks. Of course, there are concerns about and examples of the failure of those guardrails as well. And then also the targeted language surrounding this new law leaves a lot of room for concern. But on religious grounds, more conservative Orthodox lawmakers, even those in Netanyahu's coalition, were against the law based on rabbinical ruling. Rabbi Benny Lau of Jerusalem said that although capital punishment exists in Jewish legal tradition, it almost is impossible to carry out. But also with this sudden pressure, you had Rabbi Lau saying it's clear that this is all about revenge. It's a circus of violence pretending to be about security. People saying that we're seeing medieval violence being signed into law all because of the politics of hateful extremist leaders who have done their best to actually keep the tensions rising, and arguing that this is actually going to leave more innocent lives in danger. But for now, we'll have to wait to see how this continues to play out, and in the meantime, what are your thoughts here? We'll get back to the video in just a minute, but first, let me thank a sponsor and say, you know, I've got to thank you for trusting us to wade through the chaos of the daily news cycle. And that's why we've used today's sponsor, Ground News, as part of our research process in today's deep
Some
dive.
days
Behind the
it's
scenes
so
of the PDS,
hard.
we use Ground News to account for media bias, relative levels of source factuality, and of course, know who owns the source because, well, you know, that can matter. And, you know, if you want to dive deeper into the impact of rising oil prices, Ground News aggregated 300 articles, podcasts, and analyses from across the political spectrum, all centered around Iran's attacks on Gulf energy sites and the resulting oil supply disruption. They even linked directly to key moments in podcasts where this topic ends up being discussed, saving us hours of manual research so we can focus on expert interviews and primary research.
heard-
And easily my favorite is
Oh,
the
no.
blind spot feed, which flags stories covered mostly or entirely by one
I
side,
heard
helping you quickly
CPAC was
spot
a
gaps in coverage.
snooze
You might be
fest.
surprised
I
at
watched
how
like a
much people
little
listen.
bit
Hey,
of
go see for
Hassan
yourself.
coverage
Write it
of
down
it
over
because it was like a
10,000
10-minute
five-star
long
reviews at
episode.
ground.news
While I was
slash
scoring
DeFranco. Just scan that
seeds.
QR code or head to
And,
ground.news slash DeFranco today to get
it was
40%
like
off unlimited access to the Vanguard
Team
plan,
Weak
which is the one I
Sauce.
use. But then diving back into the news for our final story today, we need to talk about how thanks to shoddy police work and artificial intelligence, this woman spent 5 months in jail for a crime that was committed in a state that she had never even been to. So this is Angela Lipp. She's a 50-year-old grandmother of 5 from Tennessee. And in fact, she spent nearly her entire life in northern Tennessee, with the full extent of her traveling being, you know, to surrounding states. And so it definitely caught her by surprise when she was arrested and extradited for bank fraud in North Dakota. Right? Because last summer, police in Fargo, North Dakota, they were investigating a string of bank frauds that took place in April and May. And in at least 4 of those, the same woman showed a fake military ID card with stolen personal information and withdrew money from a bank account or a home equity line of credit. And the West Fargo Police Department, they took this surveillance footage from these frauds and decided to ask its intelligence unit to identify a person of interest using an AI-powered facial recognition app called Clearview AI. Right? And Clearview AI, it actually works by scraping billions of photos from social media sites, and it's used by hundreds of local police departments, the Department of Homeland
Gross. Fucking gross.
Security, and the FBI. Though they pointedly say that it's not meant to be used on its own, but as a tool within the broader investigation process. And you had the company
Yeah,
saying
alright.
it generates leads. It does not make identifications, draw conclusions, or recommend arrests. When using Clearview AI's platform, independent corroboration by trained law enforcement professionals is required. And as you have picked up by this point, that is not what happened. Right? The West Fargo police said that the Clearview AI, quote, identified a potential suspect with similar features to Angela Lipp's, and they passed that information onto the Fargo police. And they then tracked down Angela's Facebook and Instagram and her Tennessee driver's license, with the Fargo police detective determining that Angela matched the suspect that Clearview AI offered, which was then apparently enough probable cause for the Cass County State's Attorney's Office to charge Angela with 8 felonies, 4 counts of unauthorized use of personal identifying information, and 4 counts of property theft. Right, and then in July, a judge signed an arrest warrant authorizing nationwide extradition of Angela to Fargo. And within 2 weeks, U.S. Marshals arrested Angela in Tennessee at gunpoint while she was babysitting 4 young kids. They were then booked in jail in Tennessee as a fugitive from justice from North Dakota, and she was there for more than 3 months. And that's despite repeatedly saying that she had never even been to North Dakota. But she was told that if she wanted to fight the charges, she'd have to allow herself to be extradited. And come October, that is exactly what happened, with Angela writing in a GoFundMe post. It was the first time I had ever been on an airplane. I was terrified and exhausted and humiliated. And this is where the real kicker is. After meeting with her, Angela's attorney, Jay Greenwood, he did some pretty standard level digging into the case. He spoke with her family and friends who sent over some bank records showing that she had been making deposits and withdrawals in Tennessee at the same time the frauds in North Dakota were happening. So you had her attorney saying the authorities blindly trusted the AI and, quote, made 0 other efforts to corroborate that identification. And adding, nor did they do any interviews with her or people in her orbit to determine whether they had the right person. And so as a result of that, Angela spent 5 months in jail. It wasn't until just before Christmas that the charges were dismissed. And then on Christmas Eve, Angela was finally released from custody in North Dakota. But then she also didn't have any way to get back home.
I had summer clothes on and no coat, and it was so cold outside and snow on the ground. I'm scared. I'm scared about that too. You know, I wanted out, but I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to get home.
For the Fargo police, they didn't even pay for any expenses. In fact, local defense attorneys put her up in a hotel room and got her money for food off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then from there, she was driven to Chicago so she could get back to Tennessee. And because of her lengthy stay in jail, she wasn't able to pay her bills at home. And so when she got back to Tennessee, she had lost everything: her house, her car, even her dog. But the reason that we're talking about this now is because the police in North Dakota have recently come out to admit their, quote, missteps in handling the case, pointing to West Fargo and saying they weren't aware their neighbor had used a new AI system, and they have since prohibited its use going forward. Right? And that, along with with a complete overhaul of their use of AI as well, with the Fargo police chief saying, "We're happy to acknowledge when we make errors, and we've made a few in this case for sure. We certainly apologize for any
Okay,
effect
but
or
are you gonna
adverse
help her get her
effect that
shit
this has
back?
had on trust in the community." Though he notably stopped short of apologizing to Angela directly, and when he was called out about that, he responded by saying that they are still investigating the Fargo bank frauds and that it must be carried out by a large criminal organization, saying. So I think that's an appropriate question and response at the right time, but we do not know definitively who's involved and who's not at this juncture. Though, of course, Angela's attorneys were quick to mention that there is no evidence connecting her to bank frauds. And so then with that, we know that they're planning to file a lawsuit, and they're specifically looking into why she was held for so long, especially when the bank records to exonerate her were readily available. And so you had her attorneys saying, "We believe that Angela's lengthy detention was unnecessary and should have been avoided with a proper investigation by law enforcement." And I will say it's also worth noting that the same police chief who stopped short of apologizing to Angela has also conveniently just retired, with him even shooting down questions about Angela at his retirement press conference. And so yeah,
Oh.
AI apparently not just coming for a lot of people's jobs. In the wrong hands, it's also taking away people's freedom, which is just
Yeah, who would've
absolutely insane.
thought?
And it then begs the question of, are there other cases like this in the United States? And if so, how many?
Oh, yeah,
But that right there, my
definitely.
friends, you beautiful bastards, is the end of today's show. Though remember,
All right. I think that was all the news I wanted to cover today because I talked about the AIPAC stuff. This was so good. The Amberlynn Reed, shaped by the LCU by Smith Snowflake. Excellent, excellent video. I've watched it twice now. Oh man. All right, yeah. I think we're at to and I get off the internet for 2 weeks. See, this is gonna happen a lot because in the spring and summer, I like to be outside. Even in the fall, I love to be outside. And so, like, I will not look at my phone while I'm outside. And so now I'm like, oh boy, the hell am I missing? But I think we're gonna get to Fallout now. Now that my nose is severely stuck. Right. Go. Where's my Hydro Thunder? Sorry, I saw it on the screen. How was I doing? I know I was fixing up Red Rocket. Oh no, I was doing my house. Watch it crash.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Shit crap gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life? Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. I don't like the frogs. Gay. Friggin' frogs. Frogs.
I gotta do like a fade out for that, I think. Look, it worked. Excellent. The gay frogs have blessed the channel. Nice. Oh, I dropped some frames. Refresh. Refresh. Right. Oh, I'm doing Bobby No Nose's quest. That's right. Okay. Oh, I need steel. Bollocks. Let's skedoodle. Ground zero.
Self-prescribed Kim, as recommended by me.
Heard you
myself,
rescued Valentine.
and I.
Good work. No sense scared the hell out of me. But Nikki, he ain't like those Institute psychos.
We got small arms,
Bobby.
long arms,
There you
ammunition.
Was wondering if you were gonna show up. Yes, it's me. I have to hide my face in these parts. People like me aren't allowed around here. Now let's get down to business. A big wall of glass looming over Diamond City is the mayor's office. Most people don't know it, but there's a strong room buried beneath. Mayor's just sitting on top of it. And that's our target. The guy has it coming, if you ask me. With how he treats my kind, maybe he deserves worse.
Sure, let's get started,
Let's
Bobby.
get started.
I like your attitude. So, what do you say we make this party a little bigger? I managed to track down my tech guy. His name's Mel, and he is right here in Diamond City. The guy can make a gadget to solve any problem. Thing is, he's a bit locked up right now. You have to get him out of there. I can't just stroll into Diamond City security with this face, covered or not.
Sure.
If you really think we need this guy.
Trust me, this is the guy
I said
we
sure.
need.
Why are you questioning
Pick
her?
a lock, find a key, bribe the guard. The usual stuff. Just get him out of there.
Shop in safety. No sense allowed at the surplus.
She could have told me that at her house. Like, she didn't have to wait.
Hey, who wants to look beautiful? Hairstyles from across the Commonwealth.
Wait. Okay, yeah.
Mel. Mel here. Can I help you?
Wait, hold on. The Xbox is making like a popping sound. And it's bothering me. I wanted to restart it really fast.
I am getting you out of here.
If so, maybe you shouldn't be announcing it. So every guard
There's
in
a
Diamond
guard
City
right
can hear.
behind me.
Totally unrelated, but I hear that there's an old glitched out Protectron unit back there. Guards asked me to take a look. but it was a
I'm
real head
confused.
scratcher. Couldn't do a thing.
A beer and my slippers after this shift. That's all I ask.
Officer?
You got something to say?
Yeah.
I was hoping to get Mel at a lockup.
I didn't know Mel had friends. All right. He's pretty much done his time. Let me open up the door. All right. You're free to go, buddy.
You heard about that settlement? Covenant? Nice. Real clean. Strict entrance requirements, though.
Let's just get out of here.
Oh, why is 1904 and 1946?
The smooth sound of Diamond City Radio are brought to you by the following. Commonwealth weaponry. It's a dangerous world out there. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Next up is Billie Holiday. Don't call her crazy.
Oh.
Is that a Pip-Boy? Give my left arm for one of those.
Thanks for getting me out, I guess. So, you're Bobby's new toy.
I'm not anyone's toy.
Right. Bobby sure knows how to pick the gullible ones. God. That woman doesn't have a patient bone in her body. I wasn't serving a life sentence here. What, she couldn't wait like a day? What's the job?
How'd you like to help break into the Diamond City strong room?
Well, damn. That's a big score. Could be enough caps there to keep me going for a long time. Bobby may be shady, but she always pays up in the end. So, I guess I'll get my stuff and head over to her place.
Okay. No map.
Like the wind that shakes the bar, he moves me with a smile. The difficult I'll do right now. The impossible will take a little while. I say I'll care forever, and I mean forever. If I have to hold up the sky, crazy calls me. Sure, I'm
Breathe through my nose earlier.
crazy in love. Am I like the wind that shakes the bough? He moves me with a smile. The difficult I'll do right.
New York City is nothing without pizza.
Oh my god, Kitty! Hi, babe. Oh my god, the game froze. Fuck. Kitty, this is your fault. What's up? What's up? The game just crashed. Ugh. Nothing much though. We watched the news. I drew a picture. I had a bunch of adult stuff to do today, like kid doctor's appointments, parent-teacher conferences. And I thought the food bank was today, but it's tomorrow. And what else? I gardened a lot. I spent a lot today. I've been putting sunblock on though. But it's just been so nice here. Today it's 73 degrees right now at 7:15 at night. Sounds like your day has been all over the place. Yeah, and chores in between there. I don't even think I've sat down on my computer at all today. Trying to prep. I got some wild indigo, so I'm gonna try planting it. So I had to clear out the beds for it, and I'm really proud of myself for, really thankful for myself for starting to clear out those garden beds last year, because the dirt had a lot of time to,
Come on, just leave it.
like a lot of e-commerce moved in. Can't get any more sunburns. It's cloudy here. Yeah, don't get sunburned.
He takes over.
Andy's not so bad to look
all
at.
here.
Maybe we
Mel,
don't burn bridges
you want
this
to
time.
introduce your little friend?
Yep. Meet Sonia. This little bot is going to help us move through the earth like a mole rat on jet.
Mole rat on jet. Impressive.
I'm excited to see what you can do.
I can't wait to show you. She's one of a kind. I modified her radio systems to emit sonic pulses at frequencies that can loosen any sediment around.
Mel says we'll be able to get to the strong room 10 times faster than just digging. And it's a hell of a lot safer than loading this place up with dynamite.
I don't know, it
Right,
is
guys,
kind
get
of
ready.
loud.
I'm not completely sure how this place will respond. So, brace yourselves. Sonia, do your thing.
Like, it's really loud.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Oh no.
I gotta get closer to my soundboard. Oh wait, let me get the mirror. Give me your meat. Ah! And
Now we're just starting to have fun.
McCready, you are high-key useless.
Things around here. You see how I go?
Can you hear me? Yes. Where the hell am I going? Alright, so I would tell her to go through that one. But wait, there's more. I think this is where the power
We need to
armor
get through
is.
here, Mel.
Gotcha. Sonia.
Oh, there's also a... Hey, the fusion core. Holy fuck. There is a Mirelurk King in here. Probably won't get the sneak attack off though. 'Cause I'm
I don't know about
detected.
you, but this seems like a dead end to me. Let's see if we can backtrack and blast another path.
Get out of my way. Oh, buddy. Help me. Help me. Oh, God. They are all over the place trying to get you. They are. Don't want me to take their meat. This EXO, it's T51. Don't need the frame. Oh, rip. That sucks. Can you get out of the way, McCready? Wait, did I take his meat? Can't have it. Did forget his meat. Yeah. It just turned into one of the aliens from Attack of from Mars or whatever.
We need Sonya here.
Sonya.
Mars Attacks. See, I don't like the pistol because it takes too many shots.
Thanks to Connie Allen for that tip on Rocket 69. It's a two-seater. Folks,
None of these people are sneaking. I've started replaying Cyberpunk. Now that's good game, Blue. I've heard excellent things about it. No!
Oh no, this ain't how I go.
Fuck you guys, man.
Come on,
Don't you lead him over here, McCready.
You're messing with the back.
Oh. Oh my god, they're getting absolutely destroyed. Yeah, I haven't done a full playthrough since before the DLC. Heck, since before the new perk freeze.
More fighting.
This'll be.
How about? If they had just let me sneak, we wouldn't have had to go through this. No.
Bobby.
Just find a way for us to move forward. Remember.
I used to play all the way through on each life pass and complete all the side quests to get to max. Oh wow.
Mel, get Sonia over here.
Got it. Sonia, blast time.
Me with Baldur's Gate.
Looks like a subway tunnel.
Then we're on the right track.
Ah, I see what you did there.
What? No. Just keep heading southwest. We need to find a place to blast out of these tunnels.
Like I used to play all the way through. Oh, wait, I read that. Damn it. I wish I had a silencer. There you are. Oh man, so thirsty. Probably gonna have to go in a second. You get more water. I'm such a filthy fucking mouth breather right now. Fuck!
We get it. You're zombie. Waste of time. I'm feeling I.
Oh.
Okay, that looked like it hurt.
Ellen.
Safety up.
Ah!
Dressed yet?
Sweet.
Ah, excellent. Actually, does the gradient hat increase endurance or charisma? Luck! Even better. Oh, right, I was gonna look at the perk tree. Alright, so... Definitely need to increase my intelligence. I need to level faster. Perception, I definitely want to go at least 2 more in perception. I actually might stop there at intelligence. But luck's gotta go up. Luck's gotta go up by 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 perk points into perception. No, 3. 3 perk points in perception. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 levels. I'll probably take
luck next. Are my stats? Perception's a +9, agility is +4, luck is +7, charisma's a 10. Not terrible. Oh. I do enjoy when I can cross a level just by cooking or crafting.
Find anything useful on him?
Got it.
5 stars.
Guess this side's clear. Did I go everything?
Illuminating on second chances. Here are the 8 spots. This baby.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, right between his legs. Damn, no, I wasn't gonna get that.
Chalk up another kill for me.
I'm pretty sure I did that one, McCready. Oh, I needed steel.
Over here, Mel.
No problem. Come on, Sonia.
Oh, I should drop a quick save.
How come it's been so long since we worked together, Bobby?
I've been trying to keep a low profile on this one, Mel. And I didn't want to get you wrapped up in it, unless I had to.
We've been through worse jobs than this.
We're not done yet, are we?
Encouraging.
Wait, I had him blast this side open. But there was another way down there. Stop pushing me.
Not alone.
Damn, that was hot. Less so, less so. Am I the only one with a gun on this team? Why am I the only one fighting anything around here? Did anybody? Okay, they all came with me.
No flesh off my face, but you two might want to watch out for the radiation.
Oh, here we go again.
Ah.
Hey.
Come in. Oh, wait.
Again with the claws?
Oh.
I don't want to nerd out over it, but a Robco Pip-Boy is a rare find, my friend. You're gonna have to let me play with it later.
Yes.
Bobby, move. Bottle caps? Oh, so I guess there is two. Well, I want more experience points. Go. Walk. Oh my god. Get out of the way.
Folks, I'd like to take a moment for something a little more personal than usual. As I'm sure you know all too well, I haven't always been the best at this job. Hey, let's face it, I've been pretty terrible. Thanks to the efforts of a few of my friends, I've decided to change how I look at things, how I live my life. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Vault Dweller for lending me a hand. I really do appreciate it. All right, folks, that's enough sentiment from me for today. Let's get it on back to the music, shall we? Here's a throwback to simpler times, when folks actually went looking for radioactive material. It's Elton Britt with Uranium Fever.
We need Sonya here.
Oh.
What the? That's a mistake you'll ever make.
Really do wish they would stop trying to push past me. Help!
Feeling
Ah!
nice on It wasn't even worth wasting my bullets. What's the point of picking up that junk?
Shut up.
We need to get through here, Mel.
Got it. Sonya, blast time.
It's blasting time. Oh!
Now it's just starting to have fun.
Looks like this place was... Maybe I can fix one. Ghouls, what? Feral ghouls.
I think one robot is enough, Mel.
All right. Wouldn't have taken long.
I think these guys don't want me to help them.
Mel, get Sonya over here.
Sonya, you know what to do.
Oh wait, didn't I level? Yeah, I did.
We're getting really close. There's a brewery near our strong room. This has to be the basement of that brewery.
Brewery, you say?
Mel, no.
Just kidding. Jeez.
Non-stop
Like,
music and all the latest news. This is Dynasty Radio. Which repeated at it again, courtesy of Roy Brown. Enjoy, folks.
is there like a button? Oh. The way it was like rotated, I didn't think it worked. I think if I remember correctly, there's a glowing one. Glowing puke. Oh.
That's what I call a confirmed kill.
To hell with you!
It's a bad one. Feral ghouls.
Everybody dead? Cool. Move, Bobby. Wait.
Find anything useful on him?
Over here, Mel.
No problem. Come on, Sonya.
Where's McCready?
Hey.
Yeah, what is it?
Clicked it.
Mel.
If Bobby's directions are correct, and I have my doubts, the strong room should be...
Bobby.
Getting closer.
Mel.
If Bobby's directions are correct, and I have my doubts, the strong room should be right through there. If you had anything else you wanted to check out in this tunnel, I suggest you do that first.
I'm ready.
You got it. Let's do this. Ready, Sonya?
Bobby.
Great. Now my socks
Oh
are
yeah, this mission.
Well,
Uh-huh.
guys, we're right under the Diamond City strong room.
You sure this is the right place? I've been mapping it out, and I think Diamond City should be a little further north of here.
I don't have a doubt in my mind. How about a little trust for the boss?
Tell the truth, Bobby. Where are we?
Under the Diamond City strong room. And that is the last time I'm saying it. We still need a way to get up there, though. Mel, you think your robot
This
will
is
work
one
here?
of in
Look at this
of
place.
yeah, I
The
know it is.
foundation's already crumbling.
Spoilers.
One blast from Sonya, and I bet the floor above will come right down.
Well, then make it so.
You won't want to be in the room for this collapsing foundation and all.
Good thinking.
All right, then. Everybody clear out. Sonya, prepare yourself for a blast at maximum power.
Sorry. No, it's okay. I knew what it was, but
Here we go. That didn't sound good. Hope Sonya's okay.
Now let's get up into that strong.
oh, I meant Jancock, not Hancock.
Hope you enjoyed that last number.
I don't know why Bobby thought this was a good idea. Like that was the loudest shit.
We don't need that thing anymore anyway. But you can make another robot with the haul we get from the strong
You're
room.
tuned to the Commonwealth's
Keep your head in the
only
game.
recipe for the teaching of the desperation of post-apocalyptic life. Diamond City Radio.
Like a mouse. Yeah, quietly a mouse. Boom.
A woman who you want to leave hanging. Here she is, with undecided.
Bobby, what are you doing here?
Shit.
You seriously didn't think Hancock would catch wind of your scheme? He took you in, Bobby. And you're stealing from him?
Don't listen to her.
What does this have to do with Hancock?
Yeah, about that. As Mel guessed, this isn't the Diamond City strong room.
I see the rest of you are in the dark about this. Nice no-nos. You all just broke into Hancock's storeroom. You know, Hancock. The mayor of Good Neighbor.
Damn it, Bobby.
Listen, guys, I know this isn't what you expected, but there are still a ton of caps on the line here. Help me take her out, and all of it is ours.
This is Hancock we're ripping off here. The guy tends to hold grudges.
Counteroffer. Just go back into your tunnel, and we can forget this ever happened. What do you say?
I like that Fahrenheit is like actively trying to de-escalate the situation.
Come on, Bobby. At least if we leave now, we leave with our lives.
Well, shit, you're right. I'm not one to give up, but I know when I'm outmatched. Let's go.
Thank God. I don't know why I trusted you again, Bobby, but that was the last time.
You made the...
You'll get over it. Now let's split before the girl changes her mind.
You made the right move.
How did you find us?
If you think Hancock doesn't know about everything that happens in his territory, you're mistaken. You have to know you guys weren't exactly silent down there.
Sorry to cause you trouble.
The boss will understand. You didn't know what you were doing. Here, take this. A token for doing the right thing. Hancock will be happy to hear about your loyalty. You should go pay your respects in person. It's best to stay on Hancock's good side. Trust me.
Cool. How do I leave? Alright, I'm gonna talk to Hancock, then I'm gonna run inside, get more water, and then we'll be back for more.
I was out by the Cambridge ruins yesterday. Heard this weird distress call. Somebody's in a pickle. Need to sell some junk? Head to Daisy's Discounts.
Hey, Hancock.
Well, if it ain't Bobby's little patsy. Here, for protecting my stash. Why is Decision turning on Bobby like that?
I never even got paid fire.
So, we're okay?
We are. Let me tell you, this classy little tri-corner hat of mine is getting heavy. Am I turning into the man? Some kind of tyrant? I spend all my time putting down the people I would have been proud to scheme with just a few years ago. I need to take a walk again. Get a grip on what really matters. Living free.
Can you just leave, good neighbor? Aren't you the mayor?
Hey, the mayor's still the mayor whether he's in residence or not. I've walked out of here plenty of times. Keeps me honest. Can't let power get to my head. That's not what being in charge of Good Neighbor is about.
If you're heading out, why not come with me?
Yeah, I like it. You might just be the right kind of trouble. Let me just have a little chat with my community first. Give them the news.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody, gather up. I got something you all need to hear. No rush, everyone just take your time. Look, everyone, I'm taking a walk. It's time for your fearless leader to get back out there. Mix it up in the dirt before I forget what that feels like.
You can't leave, Hancock. We need you.
Hey, I'm always gonna be here in spirit, my man. Good Neighbor and I, we got a connection.
But like any hot and heavy relationship, sometimes you gotta spend time apart. Let things cool off. Remind yourself of who you are. So that's why I'm leaving. I'm still your mayor. I'm still gonna be here when you need me. But it's time for me to stop living so damn comfortable. Because we all know, no one in power deserves to be comfortable for long. Now, what's the best town in the Commonwealth? Where can someone live free, with no judgment?
Redeemer.
Of the people, for the people. And don't let no one forget it.
Hancock.
So, you ready to get this show on the road?
Yes, please, Daddy Ghoul. Ghoul Daddy.
You still interested in traveling together?
I think I could do with some more trouble in my life.
Let's do it.
Done.
Hancock! That was the coolest ghoul in the Commonwealth.
Hey, McCready. Don't wait up.
Oh, wait, he's got my stuff. Alright.
There you are. I almost thought you forgot about me.
I just want to trade a few things.
Oh, I see. All I'm good for is hauling your crap.
Oops. Here, you can take.
You do what you gotta.
Also gonna travel back to Red Rocket. Where I am going to pause for a moment to go get some water. Did my cow come in yet? Alright.
Teresa, here on Diamond City Radio.
Alright, I'm gonna open up some music.
Good news is something off.
And then when I get back, we'll keep playing. But I'm gonna go use the restroom and grab some more water. I'll be right back. chair is sinking. Where am I?
Never thought a reporter could consider themselves a success until someone threatened their
Oh
life.
my god, you say it so much, Piper.
I'm very successful.
Oh my god. Hancock, are you feeling alright?
Hey. Hey, Hancock.
What's up?
Nothing else for now.
Yeah, sure. I get the good neighbor lifestyle ain't for everyone, but it beats the alternatives. Folks in a place like Diamond City wouldn't give a ghoul the time of day.
Sun goes down. Crazies
I
come
think
out.
he's feeling a little empty inside. He lost his head.
Quiet.
The fuck?
Too.
Oh no!
I always wanted to say that.
I guess you could say he's a headless horseman. My god. Man, I love Bethesda games. I want to see if there. I feel like I have all of. Oh no, there was a mass call tonight. Hold on.
And third, last but certainly not least, it shifts the cost calculus for elites. When 1 million people, no less 8 million people, are in the streets, every institution, from corporations to military leadership to swing district electeds, have to recalculate what compliance with authoritarian forces costs them. The real question here isn't, does a protest change everything? It's, can you build a sustained anti-authoritarian campaign without mass demonstration? And I think we can say unequivocally the answer is no. We
The
can't
headless
skip
man.
it. It's a single part of building movement infrastructure. It's not just spectacle or performance for its own sake. We know that it took
Forgot
work
this
from
started at
y'all to
8
make
tonight.
that happen. And we know that in many places it was joyful and it felt like freedom in practice, while in other places like occupied cities and places with serious counter protesters, we know that that work took real risk. I'm looking at you, Chattanooga.
I'll watch
I'm
the
looking at you,
VOD.
Memphis. I'm looking at you, so many other places around this country and around the world.
Oh my god, I'll watch. I'll get the cliff notes. But yeah, there's like nothing to consume. At least for me, it feels like. Fallout, maybe it'll work this time. Oh no. You think that save file's corrupt now? Will he ever get his head back? Okay, thank God.
Nice night. These things with sharper eyes than us will be on the hunt.
What? The open road and a loaded weapon. Doesn't get much better than this.
Wow, that's so big. Like, I don't even know what it's like.
Winona Harris, folks. Let's hope his grandma got the help she needed. If you're from out of town, be sure to visit Diamond City. It's safe,
nice,
it's secure, full of quality establishments like this. Commonwealth weaponry. It's a dangerous world out there. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Ladies, I bet every one of you out there knows a man like the one Betty Hutton sings about. He's a demon, he's a devil, he's a
What
doll.
did the tracking light look like? I don't want to. Have an idea. Like, how can I end my streams in the most boring way possible? I'll decorate. That on? I just noticed there's a security camera here. I love it. Oh, I don't love that Vegas stuff.
Hope you enjoyed that with Warren Smith with Uranium Rock. Now here's the latest from Calgary. Reports suggest a chem deal gone bad outside Diamond City. Details are scarce, but it sounds like whatever happened. Right. If we're able to verify any further details of this story, we'll pass them on to the listeners. Just another day in the Commonwealth, huh, folks? Another day here.
Alright, I gotta get going. I'm gonna save it here. Pick this up maybe tomorrow. But I'll keep you guys in the loop on the Discord. Just have notifications on. We're gonna raid out real fast. Don't leave. Turn on console. Out of this. All right, who are we raiding into? I think Daisy's still alive. Let's go raid into them. Bird. everybody. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. I had a blast. This was a really fun stream. I'll keep you posted about tomorrow, and Thursday I'm definitely not going to be streaming. There's no way I'm streaming Thursday. But like I said, keep notifications on, and go ahead and join that raid. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a safe and wonderful night.